Hey guys, today it's Red Fox, and today we're going to be talking about mental illness and transgenderism. Well, since the beginning of time, man has always been man and woman has always been women. Gender and sex are different, but they're not completely disconnected. Gender is basically the fad that is related with a specific sex. Gender norms as a whole can change. For example, men used to wear high heels and the masculine color was actually pink. But over the years, people naturally were drawn to the opposite side. Now there's a large belief that gender is changeable. Truthfully, this whole trans fad thing is an insult to people with actual gender dysphoria. It's seriously all a fad. This idea that you can change your sex. Now, you may be curious why I'm saying changing your sex as opposed to changing your gender. Gender in today's terms refers to culture and fads surrounding a certain sex. Having different favorite colors and ways of dressing. Guess what? No one cares what your favorite color or how you dress. When it comes to bathrooms and pronouns, those are not only directly affecting other people, but they're also only relative to your sex and not what you prefer. And just so you know, females have XX chromosomes and males have XY chromosomes, and these aren't changeable. Actually, with how things have been going, they have begun targeting schools now. Schools that now teach classes about gender expression. They now teach that as you grow up, whatever you think or believe, that is right. So kids, if you believe in unicorns, unicorns are real. If your 7-year-old came up to you and said they were a dog, are you suddenly going to treat them as a dog and let them act like a dog? Are you going to feed them dog food? If you do, then you're probably not a good parent. Now, if we were instead to talk about a 50-year-old man and adults who become transgender and don't have gender dysphoria, there's an easy answer. Attention. They want attention. They have become invisible in their own world. And they want attention, so they must have it. This reason is also why there are so many college and high school age kids who become transgender. And isn't it funny how much transgenderism and depression, anxiety, and suicide are so closely related? I wonder. I know 100% someone is going to mention something about hate, and they're going to blame all of this for anxiety, depression, and suicide. So let me ask you a question. Are you saying that people who, lived through the Holocaust versus people who are transgenders, you think transgenders they're more oppressed than Jews during the Holocaust? Because the suicide rate is higher than Jewish people during the Holocaust. Are transgenders suddenly treated worse than them? It says for trans people, it's apparently 3 times as high than Jewish people during the Holocaust. I wonder. I've begun to realize that transgenders, there's some type of problem. And I'm not saying problem as in gender norms and stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they always seem to have depression, anxiety, suicidal tendencies, stuff like that. And I've been very, very experienced with these types of things. I know several people who had depression and sometimes still have depression. And it's not good. Because I know people with real depression. Now, I know several people who say they have depression, and there's a huge, huge gap. Because people who say they have depression, they really don't. They've never even thought about going to a doctor. Even though people are like, hey, maybe you should go to a doctor, maybe you should go see a psychiatrist, and they just look at you like you're crazy. Why would I go to a doctor? I'm depressed, not sick. Well, if you're depressed, maybe you are sick. Anyways, these people a lot of time they'll purposely hurt themselves. They'll have suicidal tendencies. And it's not as in suicide where they'll try to actually commit suicide. It's where they'll repeatedly hurt themselves and think of dying. But they'll never take that extra step forward because they still know there's something to live for, of course, but it's not about that. It's about what they get out of doing it. Generally, people will only do something if they get something out of doing it. Even with charity. Whenever you do charity, a lot of people see it as their religious requirement. A lot of time, they just get a good feeling from doing it, from helping others. And that's what brings them happiness. Attention is what brings people to happiness. It sounds awful and sounds really weird, but it's true. Why do we have friends? Why do we tell our friends stories? Why do we talk to our friends? If you ask all these questions, then it's obvious. You're getting something out of that relationship. Family. You're still getting something out of that relationship. You're getting a place, a home to go to. You're getting somewhere that can provide you comfort. I know this one girl in my class. She is one of the most annoying people possible. I've known her since middle school. I used to be really, really, really good friends with her. She used to be actually sane. We would talk, we would speak with each other, and she had an older sister, and she was very, very talkative. She always loved to share stories and stuff about herself and what's happening in her life. She liked knowing all the gossip that was around. But there was a point into where that's all it was. That's all she ever cared about. And she would continuously say, I have depression. And she would say it literally like that. I have anxiety. I have PTSD from car accidents. If you get that reference, then you might know who I'm talking about. But it's a lot of that. And I stopped being friends with her because she became, and I told it to her face, she became an attention whore. She just wanted attention. That's all she wanted. She had an older sister that was going off to college. Her parents didn't give her enough attention, so she had to get attention from somewhere. She dyed her hair. She talked about drinking and smoking and stuff. And trust me, she's only vaped once. And her mom didn't even believe me when I told her, but anyways, she does stuff specifically out of attention. She just talks and talks and talks. And at a point, that's all she did was just talk to get attention. She did it, what some people would see as taboo is about talking to people that you don't really know personally. You treat them as your personal best friend, but they didn't like you, they didn't know you. Like, step back. She was one of those people who was all up in your business, and no one liked her. No one. And there was a specific group that she started hanging out with, and that was one of the reasons why I stopped being friends with her, is because she started hanging out with this group of people who wanted attention. And that's all they did. I'm pretty sure she's even dabbled in being lesbian and stuff like that. She says she's not, and then she's like, I have a boyfriend, but then she talks about being lesbian. Like, it's those types of people who say they're depressed, they say they have anxiety, say they have PTSD, and none of it's true. My Siri just went off. Whoops. And it's people like that who say they have PTSD, and they don't. They don't have depression. They don't have anxiety. They just want attention. And that's all they wanted. And with the transgenderism movement, that's what it's turned into. First it was being homosexual and gay and stuff like that. And now it's being transgender. Because now homosexuality is just a normal thing we hear about. We don't give those people attention anymore. And now it's turned into transgenderism. They say, oh, it's just a matter of preferences. Are you now saying that a girl can't like guy things and still be a girl? No, you can still do that. Well, then what's the point of you? What's the point of you being here? What's the point of you dressing up as a boy? What's the point of you dressing up as a girl? What are you getting out of this? What are you getting out of it that you're saying that you're not a female or you're not a male and that you're this other gender? It's attention. Now, I will say that there are actual people with gender dysphoria who are actually mentally ill. People who do actually have gender dysphoria, it's a little bit different of a situation because they have an actual mental problem that says that they are not male or they are not female. They are this or they are that. And that's like an actual thing that should be treated. But how people are taking that is that they should go ahead and say, no, it's okay. You be who you think you are. And that's not how that works. It's not about being who you think you are. 4-year-olds actually think they're aliens from a spaceship, and they think they're dogs, and they think they're cats, and they think a whole bunch of different things. Are you then going to say, yes, you are? Or are you going to be like, no, you're not. You are this person. There's a very fine, it's not even a fine line, it's a pretty thick line between being who you are and being who you think you are. How gender dysphoria should be treated is that if you go into a psychiatrist or you go into a therapist or someone and they say, you can dress however you want to dress, you can act however you want to act, but this is who you are, this is who you are made to be, this is how God made you. That's how it should be taught, that's how it should be treated. Because if they get that idea in their head, then eventually they're going to accept it as reality instead of being in this point of depression that they're not who they think they are, and that they're never going to be perfect, that they're never going to be who they are because there's all these societal, it's just a bunch of bull. People can be who they are, but it's different what people are treating it as. Well, this is Red Fox signing out, and I'll see you guys on the other side. If you liked this video, please comment, like, and subscribe. It really helps me out. My next video will be probably posted soon. I think it's going to be on feminism, but I'm not sure. It's going to be me kind of talking about feminism, and I'm going to kind of relate that to what's been recently happening on a retreat I went to not too long ago, so it's going to be a bunch of fun. Well, I'll see you guys later. Bye.